I know that you focus on Islamic law, Shia Islam, Islamic law, Sunni law, Shi'i law. For you, how does this fit within the area of research that you are doing in the field of law?
Well, this conference is doing exactly what I think should be done in our field. I have been studying for this past several years the legal works of Al-Qadi Nu'man, one of the most famous Fatimid Ismaili writers. And I would argue it's impossible to understand his writings without understanding something about Islamic legal history outside of Ismaili Shiism. Right? In our field, we have a tradition of research silos, of doing research within sectarian boundaries and disciplinary boundaries that Orhan mentioned. So philosophers study philosophy, theologians study theology, legal scholars study law, and they study them separately, but also with reference to sectarian boundaries. So people write about 12er Shiites, and the specialists on 12er Shiites, they only read the 12er Shiite books, and they try to explain everything from the point of view of the 12er Shiites, and as if all of the causes and all of the effects happen within that little band of Islamic history. Whereas we know that things weren't like that. The 12ers lived among Sunnis, they had contact with other types of Shiites, and there are many influences on them from these other groups. So you can't really separate them out and treat them as if they were an island. And you can't do what the scholars of Sunni Islam do, is completely ignore the Shiites, except at the very beginning of Islamic history. So if you take Qadi Nu'man's works, for example, you see that one of the things he's doing is trying to erect a corpus for in order to support the Fatimid state, and also in order to support the legal institution within Ismaili Islam. And he's reacting to what was there before in Sunni institutions, in Sunni society. If we don't understand what was happening before, you wouldn't understand why he's doing what he's doing. So it's important to understand the Sunni legal history to see what his goals and sources were, but also it works the other way too. In his works, there are quotations, there are influences from early Sunni law that we don't have from other sources. So he has many quotations that don't exist in the Shiite tradition later, and they don't exist in the Sunni tradition later. So we have famous scholars. The most important one, well, I'll speak about this tomorrow, is Ibn Dawood Zahiri. He was the son of the founder of the Zahiri legal school. They were very important and very influential in their time, but they died out later. Around 1100, Ibn Hazm is the latest, most famous Zahiri, but they died out, and because of that, their books mostly got lost. And so we know very little about the actual history of this legal school, and we know a lot about it from Al-Qadi Nu'man's book. So another person, he wrote against a famous scholar named Ibn Surayj. Ibn Surayj is reported to have written 400 legal works. Right? Of those, we have about 1.5. Right? That's all that we have there, and so any mention of any opinion of him in later works is important for us to know about, and we know about some of these books from Al-Qadi Nu'man's work.